I want you to know something that you're a liar. And just to prove it today, we're going to talk about the 9 lies that we tell ourselves. So stick around.
Today's man knows who he is, where he stands, and what he aspires to become. Solid in his convictions, owner of his destiny, ever evolving into husbands and fathers our wives and children expect and deserve. We are the masters of our life and the leaders of our homes and community. Welcome to the movement. Stay strong, my brother.
Welcome, everyone, to the Evolving Man podcast. My name is Alan DeMonso, and I am the founder of The Awakened Man. Today, I want to touch on the 9 lies that we tell ourselves. Because let's face it, we lie to ourselves pretty much every day. I know I do, at least from time to time. There are things that I'll say to myself that really aren't the truth. And so really, in the end, I'm lying. But before I get into all that, I just want to remind you that our brotherhood, the band of brothers, is now meeting again. We meet every the second and the fourth Wednesday of the month. So go to the members.theawakenedman.net and join our club. I've got a 30-day free look into what our program's all about. There's tons of free stuff once you sign up. So make sure you do that today. And if you're really looking to elevate yourself to really become the best father, husband, employee, owner, whatever it is that your lot in life is, but you want to raise the level that you show up, then I encourage you to sign up for the Hero's Quest. It's a 90-day one-on-one mentoring program that's guaranteed to lift at least one aspect of your life. So with all that, let's get into today's episode. I want to start off today by asking a couple of questions to you. What lie are you telling yourself the most? Think about that. There must be a lie that you say, you tell yourself every day. And do you actually believe that lie? And again, I mentioned that earlier, and that's something that comes across for me is that what lie am I always telling myself, and how often do I truly believe it? And if I'm saying it all the time, then there must be some level that I believe it. So I'm never really shocked anymore when I catch myself uttering a lie about who I am or what I've done and for how long and because I've been doing this for so long, it's almost become second nature. And I'm not sure if you can relate to that, but maybe you've never told yourself a lie. Now, I highly doubt that that's not likely the case. But listen, even if we tell little white lies, like the ones where, I'll have one more beer, or, I'll do that thing next tomorrow. These are the things that when we say these things to ourselves, what we're truly doing is lying. So we lie about the way we feel about ourselves and how our bodies are. We lie about how we feel about our relationships, our financial picture, you name it. There's literally hundreds of lies that we tell ourselves every day. But there are a few that are more insidious and do far greater damage than we may realize. So today, that's really what I want to spend the rest of this podcast discussing. So the first lie is, I'm not good enough. So many men suffer from this belief. We suffer because in our formative years, that is 1 to 7 years old, we're told this often by angry parents, by teachers, through older siblings or friends. It's something we have done that we just didn't quite live up to. Maybe it was an standards or an expectation that was put onto us by someone else. But how could we? We were just children back then. And yet we learned this skill, didn't we? We learned that we weren't good enough. And no way are we going to get this right the first time. And so even though today we know better, we still carry this message deep in our hearts. The truth is there's more, that we are more than good enough, aren't we? We are human beings making our way through life's trials and tribulations. So yes, of course we're going to slip up. There's going to be bumps in the road. That's what growth and progress it's all about. This doesn't mean that we're not good enough. It means we have more to learn. So keep learning and keep moving forward. The second lie, I'm afraid of rejection. So many men are afraid to take the initiative, especially in our relationships. We may look big and strong on the outside, but inside we are often too scared to be rejected, not understood, and even mocked. We so often don't take the risk to offer our love and to appreciate a loved one that we won't initiate something special, or let alone even give our gifts to the world. See, this is really what it means about being vulnerable and being at level 5 conversations where we can have that depth of conversation and intimacy because we have full trust. Look, we're not going to please everyone, and that is going to be okay. We're not on this earth to do that. We're not here to make everyone happy. And we try to do that, as I have had discussed in other podcasts. That's the perfect recipe for being codependent. We are here to live fully, to do what we must by facing our fear of rejection and for what it is, nothing more than a bump in the road. So take some risks, brothers. You'll find out what, and more often than not, that your gifts will be welcomed. So what's the next lie? I'm not successful enough. You know what? Stop comparing yourself to somebody who's doing what you're trying to do and has 6 or 10 years head start from you. See, this is one that I really struggle with. It's easy because we can compare ourselves to others. And generally speaking, do you compare yourself with somebody who's you would consider less than you are, who hasn't achieved as much? Probably not. You're probably comparing yourself with someone who's done so much more. It starts off at admiration, and that's okay. We need to have mentors and admire others, but don't measure our success or our value based on what they're doing in the world today, because they do have a head start. Learn from them. What can you learn and grow for yourself in your business, in your life, and in your relationships? See, our real success in life is measured not by how much we do, but how much we have loved and been loved. Next lie. I'm too critical. True, we can be critical of others, right? So on one end of the spectrum, we're comparing ourselves. Now we're really being critical. These are the ones that we feel that don't measure up to us. It becomes very judgmental. We wound our hearts when we continually put forth to bash other people. Sure, kicking ourselves in the butt isn't a bad strategy. It becomes bad though when we lambaste and mock ourselves though, and when we project on other people what our own internal struggles are. It's so easy to do that, isn't it? So let's cut ourselves a little bit of slack here and forgive ourselves for what we've been berating others over. Now, I want you to say to yourself, it's okay, Al. You made a mistake. That is one constructive thing that I can learn from, right? So what is it that I can learn from that? And by the way, Al, everything works out for me, doesn't it? See, it's all about a reframe, really, when we start being very critical of others, what we're really saying is we're critical of ourselves. And I know it seems crazy to talk to yourself like I just did, but let's face it, if you don't end up by addressing this negative talk in your head, it's going to continue to be that insidious piece that is going to be the destruction of all the dreams that you have. Here's the next lie. I'm not man enough. Now, this is a tough one. Usually when we say this, we mean I'm not strong enough, not decisive enough, but often it also means I'm not sexual enough. So as men, we have often grown up with the illusion that men always need to be strong. The word virile is used, and that has been historically been applied only to men with strength and a strong sex drive. Now, I know several men who, like me, have been through prostate surgery, either due to cancer or BPH, and are alive today because of that treatment, but have mostly lost their sexual function. For most men, sexual virility is the definition of manhood, and I beg to differ. The real definition of manhood is kindness, generosity, and forgiveness. Applying our strength and our masculine force to these and the 10 virtues of men is my definition of virility. Next lie. I'm failing as a father. Sadly, a lot of fathers feel this, especially fathers who work full time in jobs that rob them of their energy. So when they do get to spend time with their children, they're just way too tired. So what can we do? We can be present. A few minutes playing in the yard with our children or taking them for a bike ride will do wonders with your relationships with them. Try developing an evening routine that incorporates a reading session with them. It gives them and you both downtime in forms of a great end of day ritual. And then there are the dads of grown children like me. And here's a secret. Children of any age still need your love, your appreciation, to know that you are proud of them. And that's a big one, that you need their love too. The next lie. I don't feel enough. Now, for many men, their go-to emotion is anger, but anger that is sometimes a hidden form of frustration or irritability. It's a surface emotion. It covers such a wide range of emotions that are really being suppressed underneath. And yes, men also feel sadness, shame, and many others. And like I said earlier, it is an expression of our vulnerabilities that opens everyone's heart. It is for your undefended vulnerability that makes you the most attractive to others. Try it, see what happens. The next lie: I'm living on autopilot. Yes, life can be predictable, even boring, without doing any deeper work on yourself. And too many men feel like robots, going through the motions of life and not really living their lives. I was like that, but you can do something about it. You can take more risks in your relationship, find ways to improve your health. You can find a good therapist, a men's retreat, a class, anything. Shake things up by changing your patterns, your schedules, and your habits. And the last lie that we're going to talk about today: what's the point of life anyway? Each of us has a purpose on this earth, a gift to give and love to give and receive. It's worth anything to find out what your unique purpose is on this planet. I invite you to open to a spiritual dimension. No matter how old you are, learn to meditate, pray, find a place in the cosmos that you can celebrate your life anytime and any place. Having that connection to spirit, God, or whatever you call this entity, but that connection to help drive a purpose for your life is what leads us to become strong, resilient men. So, like I said earlier, there's hundreds of lies that we can tell ourselves. And these, to me, reveal a great deal about how we think about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and what we truly believe we are. So if you want to learn more on how to stop sabotaging your life by ending these subconscious patterns that perpetuate these lies, then I recommend you joining the Awakened Man community and start your hero's quest. As I said earlier, it's a 90-day mentoring program providing you with a roadmap, with a one-on-one mentoring, and group mastermind with our band of brothers. Members at Flourish here are ready to take responsibility for where they are today, for who they are today, and for who they aspire to become. If that sounds like you, then go to members.theawakenedman.net, and I look forward to seeing you in the brotherhood. Thank you for joining me today. Aho, my brothers.
Thank you for listening to the Evolving Man podcast. Are you ready to own your destiny? To become more the man you are destined to be? Join the brotherhood that is The Awakened Man at theawakenedman.net and start forging a new destiny today.